Hi all, welcome back to more Space Engineers. And as you can see, we have all sorts of resource being processed. So I've taken the giant miner out and have gone out and gathered a bunch of ore. So as you can see, we've got what 1.2 million stone, another 90k of iron being processed. So we're sitting at by the time everything's said and done, we'll be probably around 450, 500k of processed iron. We've got 120-ish K of nickel to process. We've only got about 8K of cobalt, so I'm probably going to go out and grab some more of that because we're going to need it for, the grids, motors, and large tubes, I believe. But I did go out and pick up about 400k of silicon. We've got 124-ish K of silver ore, 300 and some odd K of gold. No platinum because, well, on planets, the only time that you may find it is in the resource rocks. You'll see these boulders on the surface, for those who don't know what I'm talking about. And there's a 1 in 1 million chance or something like that of it spawning platinum. So you can, in theory, get platinum on a planet. However, it's extremely rare to do so. And then obviously we have roughly 260k of uranium ore to process. So we're actually sitting pretty good as far as resources are concerned. So what I'm going to end up doing today is I'm going to start working on getting things refined. We've got 10 processors up and running now. Pardon me. And they are fully upgraded with the effectiveness modules. So we're getting twice the material out that we would normally get. So our numbers are going to be a little bit off. They're going to be higher than expected, but like I said, what it comes down to is we have a ridiculous amount of resource, and we're going to be using it here in the near future. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the lake today, and I don't know if I'm going to do a cut or we're going to have a little chat on the way over, but what I want to do is actually set up our remote launch station. We need to set up an area where we can have a readily available supply of ice for hydrogen, because we're going to create a hydrogen-based system or a hydrogen-based ship to get us into orbit so we can actually go grab platinum. Once we have platinum, then we can start making the ion engines. So let's see here. What do we do? Is there anything we really need? There's a bunch of things we really need that we don't have. Let's go ahead and queue up construction components. Let's go production. There we go. We went base assembler. You're not doing anything right now, so we're going to have you queue up I don't know, probably 20k of these things. So you're going to get a lot of clicking. It would be nice if you could do a shift or control click or left click or something, and be able to say I want to queue up specifically this many. Because I'm not using Tim or any of the massively automated scripts. Specifically Tim. Tim is, I think, the one everybody knows the best. Okay, so we got 10 of those. Let's go ahead and queue up 10k of the metal grids. And we're going to have that... you know what? Because we're taking mobile with us. So we don't want mobile... Actually, no, I guess we're going to leave mobile here, huh? Yeah, so let's use mobile for those. We want, what did we say, 10k? So another mass clicking. Must click. Mwah. So we'll go, until I get tired of clicking. That's good. Right? Sure. Okay. So while those are all processing... So yeah, like I said, we're going to take the small Scout because it's fast, it's small, it's light, and it's fairly maneuverable. But what we're going to do is we're trying to find an area that we have ice in. Because, like I said, we need a hydrogen production group. And in order for us to do that, we need a ready supply of hydrogen, or of ice. Turn our light on. Come on. Thank you. Alright, so we are going to turn our reactor on. Alright. What I need to do is put another sensor in so that I have one, so I know if I'm getting too close to the roof on this thing too. Now, did I burn the floor? Doesn't look like it. Okay. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and find us a little bit of ice here in the immediate area. I don't think we actually have any. Okay. Alright, there should not be anything causing those to go off. So let's look at this thing. Oh, it's because I've got that. We want it to go 10 meters. We want this to be... Let's go 5 meters. You are going to be 5 meters. We want you to be 0. I'm fine. There we go. Because what it was doing is it was detecting me in the cockpit. So... so let's see, bottom... So that's behind us. Actually, let's take this out to 10 here. So... in front of us, behind us, this is above us, and this is below us. Okay. Right, so now if we get too close to the ground, so as we get closer to the ground, you see it turns on, and it turns off. And you get the little audio cues, so how much uranium do we have? It says we have enough for a couple of hours worth of flight time, so let's go ahead and take off a little bit and go take a look. Now, for the folks who may not have seen the last episode or don't check in all the time, I went ahead and turned off the meteors because of the fact that when the developer pushed their development build live, it reintroduced an old bug where meteors would, when the meteor shower spawned, it will spawn inside the planet. So what it's supposed to do is it originates from, you know, space in line with the sun. So as the way that the planetary orbit works is that the system is actually rotating around the planet. The planet is a static body. So as the sun basically orbits the play space, if you get the spawn, it originates from the sun and, you know, tries to intercept you. Well, what happens is that if the planet is between you and the sun, there's a check in the code, or there was a check in the code that said, don't spawn it here. So basically you would end up with getting meteor storms pretty much just during the day, and then at night you would get one from an opposing spawn point. Wow, that's really nice out. I don't come outside at night much, so yeah, but basically they had it set up so that there was an opposing spawn point, so that at night if it spawned, it would spawn from that one and not from the sun. And yeah, the whole thing just basically got broke somewhere when they pushed this new update out, which is really unfortunate because it was fun having them turned on because we had to actually worry about defending our base, which is something that Space Engineers doesn't really do all that often. You can have drones and you have spiders and things like that, but the NPCs, once you know how to fight them, well, I guess it's true with the meteors too. I mean, once you know how to do it, it's fairly straightforward. So, all right. Now we know we have a large body of ice over, well, pretty much directly behind us, about 44, 45K away from the base. So what I was thinking about doing was maybe relocating the base. And we're actually in a really good position to do that now because we have enough resource. We can actually build a cargo ship that can land over on the ice and basically have, like, say, 4 or 5 large cargo containers full of stuff. So we may end up doing that in the near future. But like I said, I'm just trying to find an area that we may have a better supply. But we do have gold and everything over there as well. So like basically all the resources we need are in the immediate area of where we were looking at for the ice base. So, all right. So, not seeing a whole lot here. Looks like there might be something up ahead. Really wanting the sun to come up so I can see what type of terrain we're in, because I think this was the mountainous, like, tundra area. So just really hoping to be able to spot some ice. I know, it's really dark out. We probably should have waited until daylight. So, yeah. Alright. Now, I had people asking me what am I planning on doing with Space Engineers long term, because, we've got all these new games coming out, like Dual Universe is coming out in sometime in the, hopefully, not too distant future. Wow, what are we... We seem to be getting really close to a cliff or something, because... Alright. But because we have a bunch of games coming out, I have been playing... No Man's Sky a little bit on and off. Also been playing... well, I think that's really the game that I play a lot right now. I do play Empyrean, I do play Space Engineers. So, it's a lot of different space games. So, I'm honestly not planning on dropping Space Engineers anytime in the near future. It may go on hiatus when Dual Universe comes out, because Dual Universe basically is No Man's Sky meets, Space Engineers. You have a pretty free-form building system. They do have some pre-composed units, like like in this game you have the cockpits, you have the thrusters, and basically you gather the resources and put them together, but you can't design a new thruster. You can't design a new cockpit, at least not within the game. And basically Dual Universe is going to follow a lot of that same idea. It'll be a block-based voxel crafting system, and you'll have assets that you can add to it, like the cargo container, the thrusters, and things like you find in Space Engineers. I do think that I like the styling of their game a little bit more than Space Engineers, because, it's a newer game, it's a newer game engine, so you're going to have some differences as far as what's available in the art assets as well as the system itself. And I'm kind of excited to see what they do with it, because from what I've seen and from what the development team has been talking about on like Twitter and the Gamescom video that they put together, they had a presentation there. I think that it's going to be a pretty solid game. And then you have Star Citizen, I almost said Space Citizen, coming out here. Their 3.0 is looking to drop probably in the next couple of months, and that's going to introduce the planets, where you're actually going to have the ability to go out and land on planets, and they have said that you are going to be able to land pretty much anywhere on the planet you want. In the video, they showed this. Basically, in order to enter the planet legally, or at least the theory is that in order to enter the planet legally, you have to go through this, basically this like docking ring thing, and Chris Roberts and crew has not really said what this thing is for. It's been in some screenshots. It's been seen in a little bit of footage. But what the working theory is currently is that It's basically the legal approach vector for the planet. So if you're coming in and there's a station you want to land at, there's going to be at least one of these rings for the planet, if not for each of the major points. So if you want to land on the planet legally, you go through this thing and you touch down. But like I said, no one's actually confirmed whether or not that is the case. It may also be just something that helps you judge your approach vector. I mean, there's all sorts of things. Like it's just your right of way of approach and that kind of stuff. So, all right. So, I am not seeing any likely candidates for ice locations because this is looking like this is probably yeah. So it's grasslands. All right, let's go down and take a look just to make sure. And this is why we have the sensor with the lights on it attached to it. So when we get close enough, it should kick in when we get around the 30-meter mark. In theory. But I'm basically just trying to get close enough to see what we have on the ground here. But yeah, it looks like this is the grasslands area. Yep. All right. Which means there's not going to be any snow in the area, but we may get lucky and find a lake, but I'm not seeing anything that looks like it would probably be a lake area. Most of this looks like it's rather mountainous. Might be back there in that little ravine area. I'm not holding my breath for it, but it might be. You don't realize how fast these little things go until you're close to the ground and you see stuff go zooming past. Yeah, see. It's just a ravine. Oh, man. Alright. So, my best bet is probably going to be to get into as close to orbit as possible and take a look once the sun is up. But like I said, I'm not foreseeing this being a viable area for water. So we're gonna go ahead and head back and all right. So yeah, but those are my thoughts on the whole thing with the upcoming Space Sims open world style games. It's really unfortunate that No Man's Sky basically came out about what I was expecting it to be. And I've even said a couple of times publicly that, I knew people were way over expecting on the game, but like I said, it's a fun game. It's one of those, if you want to go kill an hour of time, you can kill 15 minutes with it if you really wanted to, but if you want to get something done where you just go out and, relax, have a little bit of fun, it's a good game for that. Don't get me wrong, I think the game is actually really good at what it does. So, but I'm not surprised that so many people were disappointed by, what the game does and doesn't do. So on that note, though, Sean and his crew have been releasing content and have plans to release more content for it. They said that they may do an actual DLC pack, but I think they're going to basically just do some patches. One of the things that they're talking about putting in are the ability for players to own larger ships, because right now you basically get fighter class ships that you can upgrade. They're saying that they may even put in like the large freighter style. I don't think you'll see capital ships in the game. It's just not built for it, really. The capital ships, I don't think were ever really meant to be player owned or operated. That's the feeling I get from the design of the game. It just doesn't take in the right it doesn't take the right elements into consideration in order for that to be true. So, all right. So I think I am going to go ahead and do a quick cut here. I will bring you back when we're a little bit closer to base. See y'all shortly. And welcome back. And as you can see, we are slowly closing in on the on the base. It's kind of funny that, you know, when we have this thing turned off, you can actually see that the mining platform for quite a bit further than everything else on the base. All right. So you can actually see we did end up in a pretty good spot as far as starting locations are concerned. You know, the whole being in the valley here was actually really nice. It was a rather fortuitous area. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're going to start coming in for landing. And I just realized we have been running for, well, this video is going to end up being something like, I think 20 minutes on the first segment. Wow. That's funny. You can actually see the base because there's so much broken terrain. Nice. Alright, so we're getting in here. Okay. So. That was odd. That sounded like there was... It sounded like there was a spider out there. I know they're not turned on, so I don't know. Oh, so yeah. So that was a rather fruitless search. So what I think I'm going to do is I will probably continue on, and I'll do that off camera. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this one here. I want to thank you all for stopping in. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun hanging out and just talking to you about various games. And if you have any questions or comments, always feel free to throw them down in the section below the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button on your way out. And, well, you know the spiel. If you're new around here or you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe because it's nice. It keeps you up to date. Etc., etc. Unlimited rice pudding. Anyway, I hope you all have a fantastic day. Thank you for stopping in today. And, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take off and see if we can go find us a new ice patch closer than the one that's 44K that way. So, on that note, we're out of here. I hope you all have a fantastic day. We'll see you back here next time for more Space Engineers. As always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. Catch you later.